How's it going, guys? It's Poetry Set, and welcome back to the episode of the Burgundy campaign in European Universalis for Emperor patch, where we're going to get started again. If you missed the first two episodes, we were given a review copy by Paradox. They were kind enough to let me check out the content before it releases. It releases on the 9th, and I'm not being paid to say this, by the way. They literally just pay, they didn't pay me at all. They gave me a key, and I want to make that clear. This is not a review or anything, but it's more just a way for us to check out what is going on. EU4 is probably my favorite game of all time, and so I'm just happy to have a chance to play it before it releases. But it's not. I'm not being paid to say anything that I'm saying, and any sort of criticisms or things I like about it are just going to be things that I have noticed. So, anywho, with that being said, enough awkwardness. Let's just dig right back into where we were. So we have claims on a bunch of France, which is very nice. Don't get me wrong. It'd be nice if we could break France's back early on, to the point where their vassals are not even going to help them. And here's the thing: I think that if we are able to really get a good couple battles in against France, if we go to war with them. I think we could do it. I also think so. Let's see. Definitely want to make this a state. Money is good right now. We're doing pretty all right. Flanders wants to share stuff with us, so that's good. How many things do we have with Austria? We should have only 4. Excuse me. Every 4 years. So Austria does start pretty strong. Don't get me wrong. That's kind of lame, don't you think? I know part of it is I'm pretty sure the Emperor is, like, they get a lot more bonuses now. Yeah, they get a manpower. Look at that. Look at the bottom part. The Emperor has a lot more buffs than before. Last patch, I believe it was based off of, it was just a flat bonus, right? To force limit and manpower and stuff. Now the Emperor has yearly tax income and manpower increase and land force limit. From how many princes, and I think who the princes are depends. So, anywho, and you can tell like that. I think last patch it was more common for the Empire to have around 60 people in the early game. Now you can see that they have almost 80 because there's 12 free cities and 59 princes. Pretty intense. I'm not sure what this last slot is for electors. I don't think you can have any elector. But maybe there's some special way to add one or something. Maybe it has to do with the League War. I'm not even sure how the League War will work now, but I'm excited to see. I'm also curious how like Hussite faith works. Like once the Reformation spawns, does it get stronger again? Or to be honest, I don't really know much about the Hussites in real life either. I just know that they threw people out windows or whatever. But no, I don't really know much beyond that. Let's see. Oh, another cool change, minor change, but a good quality of life thing, is that war taxes is now something that you just toggle on or off. You don't spend it when you're not at war. It can only be done at war still, but essentially it's a per month thing now instead of 50 for every 2 years, which if you do the quick math, that's 48 every 2 years, so it's about the same cost. But even more than that, it's more efficient. If you're only going to war for a year, why not keep them on? Also, you don't have to turn them on at the start of the war. You can just leave them on permanently, and it doesn't take the points except for when you are at war. So it's like, basically, do you want to spend points if you go to war? Then sure, turn them on, and then they'll be on as soon as you go to war, and then they'll turn off once you're off. Once you're out of war. So if you know you're going to have a lot of extra military, or you just think it's worth it, then it's very easy now. I think that's probably one of the better changes of this patch. And that's part of the free patch, right? So, alright, so we're waiting for Nevers to integrate. Definitely do want to go to war with France soon. And I think since they... Like, here's the thing. Let's go look at rivals. Like, don't get me wrong. They're real strong. They're real strong. Don't get me wrong. But we have our vassal Swarm. And we would have Austria on our side, right? That's the idea, at least. Yeah. If we could do like the Lorraine thing. Oh yeah, Lorraine's not. Why was I thinking they would go independent? Provence still exists. I'm a dummy. I think we wait till either France. I think we wait till either France or England is weakened, and then we go to war with one of them. We can definitely hire an advisor, 2 other advisors right now. Might as well. What do we make more from? Tax. Okay. Let's see. And yeah, let's go to speed 5, because again, we're kind of sitting here a lot early on, but again, I kind of knew that was going to happen. We kind of need to sit here and just consolidate our power, stuff like that. I do like the manpower, but having the influence be down means we can do more other abilities. So I think we'll do this time. And manpower's doing fine right now. Yeah. There are also new buildings as well, coastal buildings, right? Which are basically just more like, they're more tactical than anything else. They're not, that basically, right, you can make it so that it's harder to blockade, and so that hostile disembark time is higher. So this would be good to put on like coastal forts, right? So that's kind of cool, I feel like. Adding more tactical buildings. Additionally, let's see, this one, ramparts, attrition for enemies and local defensiveness. I can see some really, really tough ways, or some really, really great ways to use this against enemies, especially if you're playing a country where defensive ideas are good. I've talked about this before, but I think defensive ideas are good if you're basically in a deserty area, a very snowy and like northern area, or a very mountainous area. So in other words, like North Africa, lots of desert, lots of like highlands and drylands. That's very good. That's a very good defensive idea group area. Arabia, Ethiopia, both have rough terrain and stuff, low supply limits, very good for bleeding your enemies out. Persia is great for that. Russia and stuff. It's really nice in those areas to get defensive ideas. And for those countries, if you have a choke point, like in Persia, there's several places in Persia that have really good mountain fort spots that are choke points, and build one of these there, that will destroy your enemies pretty quickly. There's also, the other manufactories. So there's the normal manufactories, right? But there's also other manufactory type buildings. I feel like it should be in a different thing, a different category, but it's fine. Basically one that gives you a lot of sailors, and it's even more effective in ones that have certain goods, right? I think it's doubled. There is state governing cost. That's another thing. I didn't talk about this, but the whole governing capacity, the limit that essentially places state limits, which is more of a soft cap rather than a hard cap. It's also affected by your... what was I going to say? It can be affected by buildings. The courthouse, which actually makes the courthouse kind of worth it now, honestly. It's a lot better than it used to. It used to be completely useless. So that's pretty cool. That this one it helps with autonomy in that. Additionally, territories. Oh, here's another thing: is that territories, stuff that lowers like autonomy and stuff is pretty good now, because it's actually better now, anyways. Because territories, I don't have any territories, so I can't show this. Territories used to be last patch 75% floor. Right, the lowest you could go is 75. It's 90 now. So unless you have a shit ton, I apologize for the language. Unless you have an absolute crap ton of territories, they are not, I think, not really that worth, because they are very high autonomy. Let's see. Manpower increase is just like a very big version of like these, right? Well, the thing about these is that they're a flat increase. They're not a percent. So you could use that in conjunction with the percent ones, and I think get some pretty good results. And then furnaces, yeah. I think if you use those together in conjunction with each other, you could get a lot of manpower even as a fairly small country. And I think that's part of the point, right? Is to help countries that play tall and have a lot of money. Like Netherlands will benefit a lot from that, I feel like, Alright, so we get permaclaims on some other stuff. Just allied stuff for now, so I'm not really going to be worrying about that. But the Swiss stuff, maybe. Again, I kind of feel like we should wait on Imperial land and take more non-Imperial land. I think it's going to be a little better. Champagne definitely should be made a state. Absolutely no reason not to do that. I don't think we should... Maybe we should wait. Yeah, we should wait. No reason to take it now, really. How many favors do we have with Savoy? 24. Look at that. So we could probably get Savoy to join us in our war with France, but, you know. Oh, no, never mind. Apparently not yet. Again, I'd really like for these vassals of theirs to be even more uppity, but I don't think that's going to happen. Not right now, anyways. And they're probably about to start annexing them. So we have to be careful about that. But there's not really a lot for me to do with that necessarily. All provinces in the Lorraine area. We get claims on Liège, Aachen, etc. Okay, so yeah, I mean, what do we want to do right now? Well, again, I think it's waiting for either England or France to be a little weaker, and a lot of that will probably have to do with them fighting each other. I think that's the most likely scenario here. So, we do have more troops now. Forget about that. This will be the start of a new army. Definitely not going to disband them. Okay, or we could actually we should just split them up between the current army we have. Yeah. Why don't we actually come over here and maybe do like that, have like a 14 stack rolling around, and then actually bump up these two. Let's get our army stronger. Okay, we have a lot of forts. Wow. I'm actually going to keep them all. Here we go. So the Austria has the Shadow Kingdom event, which is an incident, and yeah, so we can actually see what is going on, even though we can't participate. Essentially, there's like a year, I think, to vote. Yep, a year to vote, and then there's just 2 options, and I think for other ones there's 3 or 4 options even. But yeah, essentially they can either choose to, and it's dependent on. I don't know how it works if you're the emperor. I don't know if you get to choose in the end, or if it's purely decided by the vote. They might be forced to. Not sure. So basically, there's the options for this event or this decision, or incident, are that they can like basically give up on the stuff. I think reigning in is specifically means like allied to or owned by or something like that. So if that happens, I think the ones who aren't allied to Austria will leave. I don't know exactly what reigned in, the condition reigned in means, right? And then this one means that they try to rein in as many as possible. I don't really know what the how of that is, but you know, it's okay. I will say here a little bit of self-pimpage. I will be streaming. I might be streaming around the time that this video goes live, actually, on my Twitch channel as Austria, and planning on doing an Imperial run. So if you want to know, and you want to see me find out, you know, wink wink. I like streaming EU4 a lot, and those VODs will be going up on YouTube too if you want to watch it here instead. But I am planning on doing streams as Austria. You know, if you watch my channel, you probably saw the poll I did asking about which countries I should play as. And a lot of people said the Burgundy surprisingly was the one that won, which is why we're playing as them first. I actually definitely wanted to do them anyways. The other options were the Papal States, Bohemia, and Austria. And I want to play all of those, don't get me wrong. But I think before the release, I don't have enough time to do all of them, right? So before the release, we're going to be streaming, we're going to be doing this as Burgundy and streaming as Austria. And then if we have time, maybe doing as the Pope. So that's my order of playing right now. So the Austria one and Burgundy are definitely both going out before. The other ones, not sure about. Might be a little later. So this is good. Sure. Feast of Pheasants. Why not Feast of Peasants? Okay, that's fine. At the Feast of the Pheasant, we shall declare a crusade against the Turks. And we gain a holy war. I don't care about going to war with the Turks. That's funny, though. It's basically like because I think a lot of the Burgundian dynasty and stuff were part of the Crusades and stuff. I don't know. I do not know. Advisors, state maintenance, knowledge sharing, that's fine. Knowledge sharing should stop soon. Okay. Ooh, hold on. Oh no, it's just because they're the same ruler. Yeah. So I don't like the fact that I don't know. I can't really afford to just go to war with France by myself, though. I'm gonna wait till they're at war with England, or till I can get stuff from England or something. We'll see. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. We'll see. Yeah, they're not gonna accept that. And plus, saving up some more of our aggressive expansion limit until we can just eat a bunch of France would be pretty good. And yeah, the idea is, if we're trying to restore Lotharingia, and then from there restore, you know, Charlemagne's empire, essentially, right? The idea is that we want to we want to eat both the Low Countries and Germany and France. Like we're straddling the line between those three large areas, and we want to eat all three. We want to move into France, and we want to move into Germany. We want to move into the Low Countries more than we already are. That's the idea. And France is probably just the easiest step first, ironically enough, or the one that's going to bring the most immediate benefit, right? They're certainly not the easiest, right? We could easily go to war, like, I don't know, Switzerland or something. But Austria would get in the way. There'd be a whole bunch of other stuff there. Hungary's eating everything here. Bosnia and Herzegovina. Sili here is interesting. They're the only Slovenian one province minor that exists at the start of the game, and they exist with just one core. Although Styria has cores here. Yeah, okay. Anyways, that's interesting. That's fine. Here, I'll give you... Each one of them has this sort of one that basically just gives loyalty, and that's it. So I think that's normally fine to do that. I want to talk a little bit about Dalmatian culture. If you don't know, I'm actually a student of linguistics in real life, and I think it's really interesting. So Dalmatian, for those of you who don't know, Dalmatian was a Romance language that existed in Dalmatia, in this area, and was spoken by, I think originally, like, Venetian people and stuff who were living in this area. But it was its own language, its own Romance language, that eventually went extinct. I think it's actually one of the few Romance varieties of language that we know of that actually we know went extinct instead of just evolving into something else. Anyways, that's just a random fact. I love language facts and stuff, so I am a nerd. Alright, so let's see. We'll wait here a little longer for this, I think. Wait until we're capped, honestly. I want to build up a reserve of power. What is our first idea group going to be? I kind of think... I've been thinking about this a bit. I think the best one for us is maybe aristocratic, actually. Aristocratic is not, like, necessarily a lot of people's first choice. And I don't even think it's the best one. But we are... in an area that requires us to have a lot of diplomats. We have a lot of subject nations, a lot of allies. I think getting an extra diplomat makes it more worth it, and it's pretty good on its own. Don't get me wrong, like the military tech cost, and the cavalry combat ability, the national manpower modifier, the leader siege, there's a lot of good stuff there. It's a really good idea. A lot of people might take like offensive or quality or quantity first, but I kind of think aristocratic might be our play, because it gives it a mix of other things that are also helpful. For instance, a diplomat is very nice, and additional leaders, right? Leader siege is going to be helpful for us. So, I mean, that's useful for anyone, right? But I think it works. Here, let's summon a diet. Lotharingia, Picardy. So I've noticed that there's a lot of these events, a lot of these missions, rather. And again, I kind of think that the diet missions are essentially the developers' way of bringing in the mission system that it used to be. It's basically you have like 3 options of missions. They're tied to a stage, sure, but it's kind of, I like it. It basically gives you a mission system that was like the old one. That used to be like randomized and just do this one thing, get a bonus. And I like that. So Lotharingia, Picardy, and Dijonais. These involve developing provinces. We're going to do this one. Basically Dijonais build a marketplace or a stock exchange or whatever. So Dijonais is our capital. It is a trade center anyway, so it's good to do this. This is something we would have wanted to do anyways. And look at that. Now we're going to get an extra benefit. I think it's like, what is it? 1 development and 1 production and loyalty. That is pretty good. Yeah, I think that's fine. So yeah, I'm really waiting for France to go to war with England again. And I think they're about to. I do think they are about to do that. Yeah. Especially, has England had the War of the Roses yet? Oh God, Portugal might get a PU over England. Okay. Interesting. The other reason I think it's better to just focus on... the other reason we're trying to focus on... Oh, we did cap. Oh, there's some really close, so... Tell you what, I will develop actually a little bit. Maybe I should have done development one anyways. That's fine. So, yeah, I think part of the reason we really don't want to mess with the Empire too much because we're going to be joining it eventually, and that'll make it a lot easier and a lot less punishing to conquer Imperial land, whereas right now it'll be bad. Oh, okay, so I think they did the thing where they decided not to, yeah, they abandoned Italy. So you can see that Italy has been abandoned. Milan and Savoy and Florence and Genoa have all left. Some of them still have provinces in. A couple of the minors stayed. The Pope stayed in. But a lot of them left. I kind of like this way better. Because instead of it just being like either everyone leaves or everyone stays if you successfully defeat the Shadow Empire, now there's kind of like a gradation, right? People can choose. Well, they could choose before, but most of the time everyone would leave. So this is kind of cool that everyone can choose independently, right? The Pope stayed in, and some of the other minors stayed in, but some of the major powers left. I kind of like that. And it's more organic and can be, I think it results in more organic feeling and more different feeling results. So anyways, let's see. So France's truce is up. Trier declared on Nassau. That's fine. That does not affect us. I don't know why I even got a pop-up for that. I don't think France would attack us, because then they would have to fight Austria. I feel like they're about to declare on England, if anything. I'm going to keep some of our forts up. I'm not going to keep all of them up. Oh, Aragon. So Aragon losing Naples, I think. What? Excuse me? What? Do you see this? For those of you who might be listening and not watching, I go to Aragon, I look and see that they're subject of someone. I'm like, oh, what happened? Did did Castile get it? Well, no, because Castile's at war. So it's like, oh, maybe Portugal got them. In my head, I was thinking like, oh, maybe Portugal, or maybe like, I don't know, maybe Hungary or someone. No, Albania. Albania got a personal union over Aragon. I mean, that's not gonna last, obviously, but what in the hell? I've never seen anything like that before. Wow, that's that's pretty ridiculous. It's pretty interesting. That's certainly something. All right. By the way, so there is a way to use your to get monthly, instead of getting like the dumps of points that you could get like every 20 years or whatever. Now you can do these things that give you monthly admin power, and I think you can do that with each one. So you could technically get like +1 in every category. The problem is it takes away your crown land, right? So it's really difficult to do that and still maintain control. If we did this, you know what? Oh man, I don't want to do that. We might have rebels if we do this. Here, we're gonna do this. We're gonna try it anyways, real quick, because I think it'll be worth it if we can get extra points, extra military points. We're about to take a idea there, and it's good anyway. So here's what we're gonna do: bring up our maintenance. We come in here, seize land, Yeah, we did get Catholic Zealots to rise up. That's fine. It's a small stack. It's not really that significant. And now that we've done that, I'm going to do this. Monthly military power. Because it keeps us above 30 crown control. They're a little disloyal, huh? But it is going up. They'll be fine soon enough. Ooh, national unrest. That sucks. That's real bad. That's fine. That's fine. It'll be good. Money's going to be a little rough right now, but that's okay. Yeah, it's fine. Gosh darn, I was hoping that France would be at war by now. But again, I think it's fine to kind of sit here for a bit. I'll tell you what, we're losing money, so I'm just going to do this and take this. Don't want to go too overboard, but we do want to stay up to date on that tech. So let's do that. We want to take men-at-arms. And I do think Diplo and Admin we're going to be a little rough on early on, so I think it's better for us to take... we don't really need anything here that I can think of. Like, we don't need humanist, we don't need religious, we don't need innovative, although those are all nice. We don't need diplomatic or influence. Influence might be our first one there, but we don't have a lot of admin or diplo points. We have a lot of military, so we're going to do aristocratic. I do think aristocratic is good. It's certainly interesting, a little different than like than maybe what you would normally expect to take first. But I think it is a well-fitting idea group for this. So, all right, tell you what, my timer I think didn't go off, or I missed it. But either way, we're gonna wrap up this episode here. Again, I will be live streaming today, the day this goes live. Not sure, maybe this is already past when I was streaming. But either way, I would love to see you out there when I stream some as Austria. Or the Pope. I'm leaning Austria still because that was second in the votes. But thanks for hanging out. Again, I'm not being paid to play this or say anything. These are all my thoughts. They gave me a review copy if that influences your opinion or my opinion in any way. But I'm enjoying myself with the expansion so far. And it comes out on the 9th. And this should be going live on the 6th. Either way, thanks for hanging out, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.